Hi everyone, I know it's been a while since I've done a tutorial video, but I've had a request from a few friends for how to set up MMD dances in VRM Live Viewer. So that is what this tutorial is going to be about today. Before we get started in that, I want to touch on the importance of copyright and creators' wishes when you are using dances made in MMD by creators in VRM Live Viewer. So first off, if you go to download VRM Live Viewer, you are going to see that to open it, you have to put in a password, and they have a whole file that you need to read. Read it. It is very important that you read it. That is going to give you the information that you need for the password, and it's going to give you the information you need to respect the copyright of the creators making the MMD downloads that we will be using in VRM Live Viewer. So second, on top of that, is you really need to respect the requests of the people who make these MMD dances, okay? So in the README files, when you download an MMD file, and a lot of these are going to be in Japanese, you need to check and see what they say, because some will say do not use out of MMD, okay? And others are like go ham, or they don't say anything about whether you need to use it in or out of MMD. A lot of these creators explicitly do not want these applied to VR chat models, and so they're putting restrictions in there. So please respect their wishes, read the README files, run it through Google Translate if you have to, and make sure not to use them in VRM Live Viewer if they ask you not to. Okay, so with that all in mind, we're going to boot up VRM Live Viewer. I'm not going to tell you how to download it. I'm just going to put a link down in the description, and I'm going to take you through the steps of setting up a basic MMD video in there, and we'll get going. And of course, if you have any questions, ask me in the comments and I'll be happy to respond. For our video today, we are going to be using the song Wiggle Wiggle by Hello Venus. I have provided a link to the download that I got this from down below, so you can go snag it. Just remember to fully credit the creator that made it. Okay, so we now have VRM Live Viewer open, and the first thing that we're going to do is just run through some of the basic settings so you know how they all work. Okay, so first off, if you want to access all settings, they're right here behind me. I'm sorry, I can't make the mouse bigger. I tried. For some reason, it insists on it being this tiny, but it is this gear button by my arm here. Okay, click on that. That's going to open all the settings, and you can scroll through them. There's a lot, okay, but you can look through them all, and you can exit right with this button right here. Okay. To open and close the display here so you can record, that's tab. Tab opens and closes this. All right, you can use the left click of your mouse to turn the camera. All right, you can use right click of your mouse to move the stage and the scene and everything and shift it left and right, okay? You can use your mouse wheel to zoom in and to zoom out, okay? So in this video, we are not going to talk about putting in custom stages. That's a more complicated thing, and we're gonna ignore it. For now, we're gonna get our model in, we're gonna set up a basic stage, and we're gonna do a dance. That's really all we wanna handle, okay? I say we start on the left, and then we move to the right, and we go from there. So if we're starting on the left, we're going to click this open file button, and this is gonna open our model. I am gonna pick my Oni for this, and I have the no kimono version for that. So we're gonna take my isekai form and we're gonna load her in. Okay, she's way back there. That's okay. We zoomed out, we putzed around. We're gonna scroll in. We're gonna use right mouse button to scoot her over to the middle. All right, and we can turn the camera. See, there she goes. And this is the basic like movement set that the model loads with when you load them in. All right, I want to get rid of this Alice in Wonderland background, but we're going to do that in a later step. So next step, top right here, we've got this test.bvh. BVH are your dance files, okay? So you're going to use the link below or an MMD link of your choice, and you're going to load the dance files. So we're going to click on this, and I'm going to clear these at the moment just so that it's not confusing. We're going to click the folder button. All right, I'm just gonna go back and do that really quick. We're gonna click the folder by BVH over here. And then we're going to click the folder button down at the bottom of the screen to open the file. Okay, I know my mouse is super tiny. I'm sorry. All right, we've got a README here in English. You read it, right? You read the README file. This is very important. You read it. Okay, and then we have the dance, the face, and the camera. So these come usually in 3 different ways, right? First the dance, and then the camera. Sometimes the face is baked in with the dance. Sometimes it's separate. In this case, it's separate. So we're gonna grab the dance, and now she's in the starting pose of the dance. And yep, we're gonna strut. Yep, there we go. Okay. And then we're gonna open the face. Okay. And then we're going to open the camera. All 3. We need all 3. All right. So we've got the face, we've got the camera, and we've got the dance. Now, if you want to reset or adjust something on your model while they're dancing and you want to turn off the camera, that's this button on the right here by the T-pose button. You can click the T-pose and reset yourself into T-pose. You can go back to VMD, but if you click this camera, okay, that will let you go viewer or VMD. Okay, viewer or VMD. All right. The other option that you have up here is this person standing icon. And if you click on that, this twerking is amazing. If you click on that, it's going to open a ton of settings. Now, this is all related to the avatar. I never bother with these. They're almost always set well in the dance. The thing that I will bother with is sometimes the model that the dance was originally made for is like really short or something. And so then you can go in here and you can zoom out or add distance, right, to the VMD camera. I'm going to set that back to 0. Oh, no, I lied. I'm going to set that back to 1. So you can add distance, and I have now given myself a pose because my 1 button's bound. Incredible. You can add distance and you can scale distance. This one is simpler because it's 0, right? This twerking is really incredible. Okay. And you can adjust a lot of stuff in here. You can loop the camera, things like that. And you can also go around to different settings at the top here, the character, just like you can over here. All right, there is one important thing that you do need to pay attention to in the character window, and that is motion adjustment, which again was up here, the person with the gear icon. Okay, sometimes you always pretty much leave bone adjust on. Let me scoot this over. Sometimes you need the A pose offset and the foot IK offset, and you need to tweak these because the VRM models aren't always lined up the way that MMD models are. So if you notice here, while I'm dancing over there, if I adjust this, my legs are going to become like way more dramatic, right? And if I bring them in, they're going to come like really far together and even cross. Okay. So this one's pretty okay at 0, but if we make them like really dramatic and then we increase the ratio, we're going to have like really dramatic leg movement. Okay. Or if we shrink the ratio, we're going to have almost no leg movement. So I recommend tweaking it on a video by video basis. Okay. All right. I need to stop hitting 1. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about the microphone blink and look. I use the preset auto almost all the time. Only if there aren't expressions that I like built in will I sometimes default to AIUEO. Mic lip sync, I have not figured out how to make work because I cannot figure out how to tell it which microphone of mine to use. So that's not been good to me. Audio lip sync kind of works, but when the music has a spike and the sound doesn't, then it doesn't work very well because your character will be making like mouth movements based on the music spike. So preset auto is great. And if there's no mouth movement, sometimes that's just what you do. I always use auto blink because it looks natural, and I like look at me because I like the character looking at the camera. So I leave those up. Basically, every time I load in a character that has facial expressions, I have to edit them. And this is what the smiley icon is for. If you click on that, it's going to pop up all of these. Now, I've already done some modifications to the face. You want to pick these to kind of match what you like. You can try to interpret them. I have used my phone to try to translate what these different expressions are. Ignore that bottom one there. This was apparently a sexy dance video. I have run these through Google Translate to see what these are. And I've kind of had iffy luck on that. So I would recommend just picking what you like. I have a huge list to pick from for mine because I have motion capture on this model. If you don't have motion capture on your model, it's probably going to be much simpler. They do have a key on the right where they've mixed blend shapes like auto for the mouth, where they've pulled like all the different mouth pieces in. That's worked really well for me because I have tusks on this character. So you may want to consider using the auto blend shapes if you have a character that has special face expressions. If we zoom in here as a viewer, I can show you, right? She has tusks. So this means that it drops it down and her tusks actually drop down when she makes the smile expression. Whereas if I was using just the built-in like AE IOUs with this, or the smile here that is only like the blend shape, it might not move the teeth. So I wanted to use one of the mixed ones. The individual definitely does not move the teeth. So keep that in mind if you have a model that has facial modifications with special blend shapes that you've applied to them. That's very important. But you can edit all of these here, and brow does match with brow, eye matches with eye, and mouth matches with mouth. You could, I suppose, futz with them if you wanted to have some really weird combinations, but you don't need to. All right, now the fun stuff. Let's get rid of this like Alice in Wonderland thing. Also, I am on VMD, right? Yeah, okay. Let's get rid of this Alice in Wonderland like plane we're on here. So this comes with a lot of like fancy settings and stages by default. This one has special effects attached. We've got our floating stage if you want to be, like a floating diva. The Mirai stage, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's fine. I like Kagura, right? We have like a temple on the water. So you can use any of these default presets, but for the moment, we're going to be on plain. And because this is my test one that I like to test on, I find it gets rid of all of the distractions. And I'm going to go to mirror plane. Okay, so now we're mirroring. And I like to just set this to none, just on a black plain me and my model, good to go. But you can fiddle with all of these, adjust them, etc. And if you set it to none, you can still adjust colors in here for your background color. You can make it red, right? So I clicked the sky icon. And then I clicked the background color. And you can drag it all around, make it whatever color you want. So this can be like really fun for a fun effect. What if we leave it on purple, but make it like dark, almost black? Cool. Sounds great to me. I like it. And there's a clear button there if you want to get rid of it. All right, so we have like a basic setup here for a dance. And one thing maybe you want to add is a little bit of flair. So there's this like sparkle button here. All right, I'm going to add some glitter. That sounds fun. We'll add glitter. That's a lot of glitter. That's way too much glitter. Let's click the sparkle button here and let's go in and, oh my goodness, take it way down, way, way, way down. Okay, that's a reasonable amount of glitter. And let's make it like match my palette that I'm doing here. So there's like some subtle like glow effects happening in the background here. That looks much better to me, although maybe it makes it a little hard to see the mouse. So I just tweaked the base color to change that. You can adjust the size and the rotation speed. You have a lot of flexibility with all of these. So these are like your basic get going, I want to have a dance setting, except the last step, which is the music. We need to have the music. So we're gonna have that, and I'm gonna turn this way down because I think it's really loud. So we're going to now set the music. So I already have a bunch of stuff in here. I've already loaded Wiggle Wiggle, but if you want to load it from your PC, you need to click the open file button, and then it should be in that same folder. You can grab the WAV file. Okay, so we've got it open here and we're ready to go. We're at the beginning pose now. We've clicked stop. That resets the motion and the sound. And now we want to watch the dance. So click play. And it should all come together. Yeah, there we go. All right. We're dancing. It's with the music. It looks good. But maybe we want to add in like a little bit of extra fluff. So I happen to know that my model, for example, has some bloom. So let's put in some special effects. I've clicked the setting icon here. All right. And I want to add a few special effects. Okay. My favorite special effect is this one, which is depth of field. All right. If you don't see that as the first option, then you might need to drop down this drop down field and enable them through here. There's a lot of really fun different options here, but let's turn on depth of field. Let's turn it on. Okay. And let's set our focus distance, and let's autofocus on a single character to the head. Multiple characters, whole different story. We'll get that in another video. Okay. So we've got that on now. And then maybe some bloom. I know my character has a glowing eye, so we can turn that on. Threshold, set the intensity really high. Yeah, we've got glow going here. And if I turn the threshold up, then mostly just the eye glows. Perfect. Okay, that's good. And then maybe we want some motion blur. I haven't actually played with motion blur very much, so we can turn that on. There's all sorts of things like vignettes, lens distortion, ocular, ambient occlusion, auto exposure. So you have all sorts of options. The vignette's pretty nice, right? It's gonna make it dark around your edges. You can like really zoom in there. And then I'm gonna click tab to hide these so you can actually see what it's doing. And we'll bring it back. All right, that's too intense for me. We're gonna turn it down. Actually, I think we're gonna turn it off. Okay, so these are like the absolute basics to setting up your character so that you can have dances in VRM Live Viewer. We walked through loading the character in, loading the dance in, loading the camera in, loading the face in, setting up basic background, stage to dance on here, background color, a few special effects, and your sound file. So you're basically good to go. And I hope this video was helpful to you for setting up MMD videos for your VRM models using VRM Live Viewer. Of course, if there's something specific that you want to see, something in the setup for how it works, then just leave me a comment and I'll consider it and make a tutorial video to help you set up your specific thing you're looking for. I do intend to go over adding in custom backgrounds, like custom stages in the future. So watch for that one. But for the moment, if you have a request, let me know. As always, if you enjoy, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time for more funny clips, more tutorial videos, and more dance videos. Bye for now.